My parents always considered my sister the true heir of the family and called me a burden, but when they made the biggest decision of my life without me, an old secret was revealed that left the entire family speechless. My parents always treated me like a burden to the family while they called my sister the true heir. But the night they made the biggest decision of my life without me, an old secret came to light, and the same people who had mistaken my silence for weakness were silent for the first time. It was 3 a.m. The soft glow of streetlights was coming through the window of my suburban home, and the sound of late-night TV played quietly in the background. I was sitting on the sofa holding the letter that had changed the way I saw my entire life. It was strange. For so many years I had searched for my place in my own family, and a few words on a piece of paper showed me that my place had never been small. Since childhood, my parents had always made my sister Emily the pride of our family. They would say, "Emily is our true heir. She is the one who will carry the family name forward." Whenever relatives visited, the conversations were always about Emily, her college, her awards, her future plans. And then they would look at me and say, "You can do something too if you get the chance." I never complained. Not because it didn't hurt, but because I learned from a young age that my voice often went unheard. I still remember my high school graduation night. Everyone was taking pictures with Emily because she had been accepted into a prestigious university. My father proudly said, "That's my daughter." I stood nearby, smiling quietly, even though I also had an acceptance letter in my hand, along with a small scholarship. But no one asked. Life moved forward. I moved from Boston to Seattle, started a small job through my own efforts, and slowly built a life for myself. Every year during the holidays I went back home, joined the Thanksgiving dinner, helped prepare the food, carved the turkey, and acted like everything was perfectly fine. But somewhere deep inside, there was still a little girl waiting to hear one simple thing from her parents: that she was enough too. Emily was always the special one. My parents paid her college tuition, bought her first car, and helped her with her home. For me, they always said, "You can handle yourself. You're strong." At first I thought it was a compliment. Then I realized sometimes people call you strong because they don't want to take responsibility for helping you. A few days before that night I received a phone call from my mother. Her voice was calm, almost like she was discussing an ordinary matter. "We have decided to put the family house in Emily's name. After all, she is the true heir of this family." I stayed silent for a moment. "You made this decision without me?" I asked softly. My mother replied, "You have always been different. You don't need it anyway." Those words were simple, but they brought back years of memories. I ended the call, turned on my coffee machine, and stood in the kitchen listening to the sound of coffee brewing. Somehow that familiar sound brought me comfort, like a small reminder in the middle of the night that my life was still mine. That night I thought about taking Ambien because I had struggled with sleep for many nights, but I stopped myself. I didn't want to escape from the decision I needed to make. I stood in front of the refrigerator light, drank some water, and asked myself for the first time, how long am I going to wait for other people to decide my worth? The next day I went to my parents' house. It was the same old home near Portland where so many memories of my life existed. Emily was already there, and she clearly knew what was happening. The confidence on her face was the same confidence she had carried since childhood. My father placed the documents on the table and said, "We want the house to go to Emily. She will take care of the family." I didn't say anything. I simply opened my bag and placed an old file on the table. It belonged to my grandmother. The room suddenly became silent. Years earlier, my grandmother had shared a secret with me, but she made me promise that I would reveal it only when the right moment came. She told me that when the family property was divided, the original legal documents showed that a significant portion of the house actually belonged to me. During one of my father's difficult financial periods, my grandmother had created a trust for me because she knew I was always the one being overlooked. But the real secret was not just about the property. My grandmother had also left a letter. It said, "The child who receives the least attention is often the one who becomes the strongest." My father kept reading the letter. My mother's eyes were filled with shock, and Emily was silent for the first time. But I didn't feel happy in that moment. I didn't want my sister to lose. I didn't want my parents to feel embarrassed. I only wanted them to see me once. Truly see me. I looked at them and said, "I don't want the house. I don't want to take anything away from anyone. But I will never see myself as a burden again." That was my revenge. Quiet, peaceful, and without any noise. I had built my own life. I had proven my worth without anyone's permission. I learned that an inheritance is not just land, money, or a house. The greatest inheritance is the confidence a person builds within themselves. Even today, sometimes I wake up at 3 a.m. The quiet TV sounds, the street lights outside, the glow from the refrigerator. Everything is the same. But the difference is I no longer feel alone. I sit at Starbucks and plan my future. I buy small things at Target that I actually like. And for the first time, I realize that I am not living in anyone's shadow. When the morning sunlight entered through my window, I took the last sip of my coffee and smiled. The night was over. And with it, the old version of me who always thought she was less than others was gone too. A new day had begun, and this time I wasn't just the heir of my own life. I had finally become my own identity. If this story touched your heart and reminded you of the importance of self-worth, patience, and believing in yourself, please support us by liking this video and subscribing to our channel. Your support allows us to share more emotional and inspiring stories with you. Thank you so much for watching, and we truly appreciate having you here with us.